He is freaking out. His whole world is falling apart, fast. We're talking total collapse. Every brand he ever partnered with, they've cut him off. The FBI. They've snatched his private jets and luxury mansions. Now get this, his revenue has officially dropped to zero. Zero. And his lawyers, they're scrambling. They've just filed for bail. Again, for the 5th time. The real question is, can Diddy get out of jail before he goes completely broke?
Diddy's billion-dollar empire is collapsing in real time. Private jets seized, $50 million bail rejected, friends gone silent. Even the key to New York City was taken back. But what if I told you? This fall didn't start with the FBI, it started with one deal, one betrayal. The secrets behind Diddy's downfall are darker than anyone imagined. Did you know that Sean Diddy Combs was once the 2nd richest person in hip-hop, with an empire worth over $1 billion? But what if I told you that empire is now crumbling faster than anyone expected? If you stick with me, I'll take you through how this happened and what's next. Diddy wasn't just a rapper or a music producer. He was a mogul, running over a dozen major brands. From luxury fashion lines to lucrative liquor deals, his influence stretched far beyond the stage. He built connections with some of the biggest names in business, including billionaires like Jay-Z and Mark Cuban, creating a network few could match. In 2020, Diddy's status reached a historic high. New York City's mayor, Eric Adams, presented him with the key to the city, a symbolic honor usually reserved for the most influential and respected figures.
Believed he was untouchable, that his power, his money, and his high-profile friends would always shield him. Remember that massive 2007 deal he made with Diageo to promote Ciroc vodka? That alone made him over $400 million and launched him into billionaire status. But here's where it gets shady. Rumor has it Diddy tried to cut Diageo out and take over the Ciroc brand. That's when Diageo said bye and dropped him. And just a few months later, boom, lawsuits start flying. Coincidence? You decide. His mansion, up for sale, his passport, had to surrender it, his career in hip-hop, dead. Sources close to him say even the legal fees alone are wiping him out. And now that the FBI has seized his accounts, he can't even access his own money. Want to hear something insane? The same jets and mansion he flaunted were allegedly used during his crimes, including transporting trafficked minors. Those jets, worth tens of millions, are now locked up with the feds.
TSX Broadway even featured videos on their Jumbotron celebrating Diddy Day, a clear sign of his massive cultural impact. However, the tides shifted quickly. Just weeks after Diddy's arrest, Mayor Adams himself was indicted for corruption, marking an unprecedented fall from grace for both men. Diddy was forced to return the key to the city, a powerful symbol of how dramatically his fortunes had changed. Meanwhile, Diddy's brands started to falter. His Revolt TV network saw advertisers pull back and viewers dwindle. Staff and executives began to jump ship, signaling trouble beneath the surface. The financial fallout was severe. With assets like private jets and mansions now seized by the FBI, Diddy's empire is unraveling at an alarming rate. But to truly understand this collapse, we have to look back at what built his empire and what mistakes set it all on a path to implode. And that's exactly what I will tell you in just a second. Diddy didn't just slap his name on a product, he changed the game in the liquor world. In 2007, he struck a deal with liquor giant Diageo to promote Ciroc vodka. But this
Okay, so let's go look at the Ciroc deal, what happened. So Diddy in 2007 does the Ciroc deal, which is a partnership with Diageo to revive Ciroc vodka, taking a 50-50 profit-sharing role rather than the standard endorsement. As brand manager and CMO, he elevated the brand from 40,000 to over 2 million cases a year, making it a premium product. Now, keep in mind, if you don't know who Diageo is, Diageo owns everybody. Johnny Walker, Crown Royale.
Wasn't your average celebrity endorsement. Diddy took a 50-50 profit-sharing role as both brand manager and chief marketing officer, putting skin in the game. Under his leadership, Ciroc skyrocketed from selling just 40,000 cases a year to over 2 million. The brand transformed from a relatively unknown vodka to a premium powerhouse, making waves in the spirits industry. This success is widely credited as the driving force behind Diddy reaching billionaire status. In 2013, Diddy and Diageo went even deeper, co-owning De Leon Tequila, another major move to strengthen their partnership.
And I just need the same 24 hours as y'all giving everybody else in your portfolio. And I couldn't get that. I had to send my people down to Mexico. They went down to Mexico, and when they got down there, they found out that there was 0 agave planted for Deleon. So there was no plan for us to be successful. There was no equal treatment. The other brands, they had agave planted. They had no agave planted for me. And sometimes you have to go check even your partners to see what's really going on. And so when I saw that, I was like...
As the years passed, cracks started to show. By May 2023, Diddy sued Diageo, accusing them of racial discrimination, neglecting the DeLeon brand, and refusing to treat him like a true business partner. This legal battle marked a turning point.
Keep in mind, if you don't know who Diageo is, Diageo owns everybody. Johnny Walker, Crown Royale, Smirnoff, Kettle One, Don Julio, Casamigos, Captain Morgan, Bailey Irish Cream, Guinness. They own all these companies. So Ciroc, hey, this is big. We're bringing Diddy in. He's going to take it from 40,000 to 2 million. Profitable. This is great. Let's make some money together. 2013, De Leon Tequila co-ownership. Diddy and Diageo jointly acquired De Leon Tequila, making it a deeper investment relationship. May of 2023, Diddy sues Diageo. Diddy filed a lawsuit accusing Diageo of neglecting the De Leon brand, racial discrimination, claiming they marketed it as an urban product and failed to treat him as a true business partner. Then in January 2024, they settled out of court. Diageo and Diego settled the dispute out of court. While details still remain sealed, the settlement marked the end of their business relationship. So this is from 2007 to 20.
Shortly after, Diageo quietly cut ties with Diddy. The fallout was massive. He lost nearly $550 million in net worth from the collapse of his spirits empire. At his peak, about 70% of his fortune, roughly $700 million, was tied to liquor brands. Now only about $150 million remains in spirits-related assets. And it wasn't just liquor. Other assets like cash, real estate, and intellectual property also took a sharp hit. How did things fall apart so fast? When the arrests happened, Diddy's financial world started unraveling fast. You might think someone with his fortune could weather the storm, but that wasn't the case. The FBI moved quickly to seize key assets, including his private planes and mansions. One of the most notable was his $60 million private jet, reportedly already sold off by authorities. His Beverly Hills estate, which was raided during the investigation, was put up for sale at $61 million. Along with that, he owns a $48 million Miami mansion, plus several other properties in Los Angeles, Miami, and the Hamptons. But it didn't stop at real estate. Diddy was forced to part ways with sports cars, over $1 million in jewelry, and high-value art collections featuring works by Andy Warhol. These aren't just luxury items, they're a clear sign of how rapidly his empire is shrinking. Legal fees are another huge drain. Experts estimate his defense team will rack up more than $10 million in legal costs. That's a staggering amount of money burning through his accounts. Despite multiple attempts, his lawyer's fifth bail request was denied. This latest bid included a $50 million bond offer backed by his Miami mansion, along with strict restrictions like surrendering his passport and home detention under private security. The court said no. Brands that once lined up to work with Diddy have quietly distanced themselves. No public battles, just silent departures. His Revolt TV network is hemorrhaging advertisers and losing staff by the day. Licensing deals for his Shanjon fashion brand are under heavy review. According to some estimates, Diddy's net worth has plunged from around $1 billion down to roughly $300 to $400 million. The FBI...
Check this out. This guy Diddy, when you look at his net worth, 2022, he's a billionaire. Oh, we hear it, we see it all over the place. Today, net worth roughly $300 million, $400 million. His net worth, if you look at it, was a lot of spirits. 70% was spirits, $700 million. 50 million was private investments. Then you see 75 million cash, 100 million real estate and collectibles, 75 million catalog and intellectual property. Go to it right now. Only $150 million is spirits. He lost $550 million there. Cash is lower, and a bunch of other things are lower there. So what happened during that time when you think about his net worth? By the way, when you compare him to some other people net worth-wise, with Jay-Z, Dre, Diddy, and Kanye, this is what it looks like. Blue is Dre, orange is Jay-Z, green is Diddy, and purple is Kanye. Look what happened here. So Jay-Z keeps climbing. In 2011, he was roughly...
The FBI reportedly controls his bank accounts now, leaving him with very little access to his own money. How did it get this bad so fast? I'll explain what lies ahead in the legal battle and what it means for Diddy's future. Right now, Diddy is battling more than 24 civil and criminal cases that accuse him of sexual racketeering, drug distribution, and violence. Prosecutors say he ran a racketeering enterprise using drugs, sex trafficking, and intimidation to push his business interests forward. His private mansion and jets didn't just show luxury, they were allegedly tools in these crimes. The unsealed indictment paints a grim picture. Anything connected to Diddy's assets could be seized. That means his liquor brands, music labels, real estate holdings basically, his entire empire is at risk. Jim Trusty, former chief of the DOJ's Organized Crime Section, says this case is unusually aggressive. The government aims to take control of everything tied to Diddy's network. If found guilty, a huge chunk of his fortune could be forfeited and redirected to support alleged victims. Of course, Diddy denies all the allegations. Recently, he entered a rehab program, claiming his mental health was behind his behavior, but insiders call this a PR move, something designed to soften public opinion and the judge's view. Courts often treat rehab participation as a way for defendants to seek lighter sentences, not necessarily proof of true change. Defense attorneys will argue for the minimum sentence based on comparable cases. Meanwhile, prosecutors are pushing for the maximum penalty, citing the severity of the crimes. The sentencing date is set for October, and tensions are high. One victim publicly asked the court to deny Diddy's bail, citing fears for her safety if he's released. That plea adds another layer of gravity to the case. The courtroom drama is far from over, and the decisions made now could determine whether Diddy keeps any part of his empire or loses it all. If you keep watching, I'll break down what this means for the future of one of hip-hop's biggest names. Diddy's once powerful circle has vanished. Jay-Z, long rumored to be his closest ally, never publicly spoke up during the trial. The same goes for other big names. When push came to shove, the silence was deafening. The mayor who gave Diddy the key to New York City, Eric Adams, was indicted for corruption only weeks after Diddy's arrest. This coincidence only deepened the narrative that Diddy's world was collapsing from every angle. Turns out, every connection Diddy had was built on business. There were no real personal friendships to lean on. Staff, executives, and friends quickly distanced themselves to protect their own reputations and futures. Once celebrated as the king of celebration, Diddy's public image is now shattered, replaced by the shadow of criminal accusations. His career in hip-hop has all but ended. No major brand or platform wants to associate with him anymore. The rehab program he joined is widely seen as a last-ditch effort to save face and possibly reduce sentencing, but it hasn't convinced many. Legal experts say even if he manages to get out on bail, his future in entertainment looks grim. Sources close to Diddy suggest he needs to focus on personal healing rather than chasing a comeback. The empire he built is crumbling, and his legacy in the industry is deeply tarnished. October's sentencing could very well be the final chapter for Sean P. Diddy Combs as a major entertainment figure. What happens next will shape how history remembers him, and that story is still unfolding. Diddy's rapid fall from grace is a stark lesson in how fragile fame and fortune can be. Once at the pinnacle of hip-hop, with billions in assets and powerful connections, his empire now teeters on the edge of collapse. The loss of friends, brands, and control over his own finances paints a grim picture of what happens when allegations and legal battles consume a legacy. As we await the crucial sentencing in October, the question remains, can Diddy rebuild, or is this truly the end of his reign? Next, we'll dive into the wider impact his downfall has on the music industry and culture.